2, 3, 4, the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. Why do you do that? That's when you should quit wrestling. And you're better off rolling. Did I just do what I just mixed up the two first verses, didn't I? Huh. That's a first. Let's go to the third verse. 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you're distracting the referee, and the babyface has your wrestler pinned. Then you get punched in a ring apron, and you realize all the trouble you're in when it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. Here we go, Bob Squad. Let's see how long I can pretend to have rhythm. You getting jacked, Chris? You getting stacked? You getting ripped? You getting chiseled? You getting buff? You getting pumped? You crazy cats? You rabid dogs? Here we go. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa! Yay! What is going on, Bob Squad? We are bushwhacking our way through another one of these bad boys. These Vincent Gambinis, these Mamma Jammas, they're the bee's knees, they're the cat's meow, daddy. It's the hardest part of the ring. It is the Hulu edition of WWE Monday Night Raw, and what a historic Monday Night Raw it was. What an important Monday Night Raw it was. Especially on Hulu, because Hulu finally saw Karrion Kross. And that is not why. Sorry, I sniffled. That is not why. Big E from the New Day, who's been on SmackDown for a while, is currently the WWE champion. If you only watch Raw, you are very confused about this. But it's a ladder thing, and guys win gals, wrestlers win briefcases, and that means they can challenge for a championship. Usually, when the champion's already beaten up, and kind of discredits the entire thing. None of it makes any sense. Charlotte pointed this out several times over the summer. But be that as it may, here we are. 2 of the 3 New Day members have been a WWE champion. Big E had an emotional moment. He tweeted earlier in the day on Twitter. It's a popular social media platform. I don't have time to explain it right now. That I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to cash it in later tonight. Well, okay. There you go. Some people think it's to pop a rating against Monday Night Football. Other AEW fans definitely think it's about them and panicking over, okay. They did what they did. They do crazy shit every September, October against football. But September and October, usually in the last 3, 4, 5 years, have been extra shitty months for WWE in particular, because they start with those goofy ass Saudi shows, Saudi Arabia, and they insist on booking all this TV for these mega shows and on a network that everyone hates and no one's gonna watch. And people in Saudi don't watch. The princes just run around and take selfies and don't sit down and don't watch the match and don't care. And a few kids in the back cheer, but that's really it. Those things are terrible. But we keep dealing with them, even though they held the roster hostage last time they were there. We keep dealing with them. I don't know why we do that. I don't know if it was 2018, 19, one of those. They had the whole roster hostage. I think it was 2019. Yeah. So, yep, great company. But forget about that and watch their patriotic 9/11 thing where Vince McMahon single-handedly stopped 9/11 or whatever the fuck their revisionist version is. I did not watch that. The last thing I want to do is go on the network and have The Miz and Natalia tell me about SmackDown when they weren't there. I'm willing to bet that's what happens. I'm sniffly today. You know, I sneezed a few times before this, and then I can't stop. I want to talk about Raw. I want to talk about the big win. I want to talk about the big, the whole enchilada, the whole 9 yards, the whole kit and caboodle. Did I write notes on this? Sure, I just wrote them. Oh, here it is. September 13th, the Hulu edition, not limited enough commercial interruption. We opened the show with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. Probably, I don't know. I was steaming cauliflower. But I'm assuming the Hulkster slammed the big guy at the beginning of this bad boy. We start off the show. Big E comes to the ring. He's very happy. And then Randy Orton and Riddle come to the ring. An MVP and the champion Bobby Lashley come to the ring. So we got 5 guys with microphones. They're saying words. And then there's an argument. And Randy gives an RKO to Bobby Lashley. Thankfully, this segment only lasted 6 days, which is good. Holy crap, yeah, this is a lot. It was your classic Raw, open, talk, babble. Rub elbows, grease palms, schmoozing, networking, movers, shakers, trendsetters, go-getters, gypsies, tramps, and thieves. What do you say? What do you know? How's tricks? How's the kids? That kind of nonsense. So they're setting up Orton and Lashley are having this big championship match tonight instead of Extreme Rules, which is fine, except wouldn't have to be tonight anyway, because don't all Extreme Rules matches have stipulations? Aren't they all gimmick matches of some sort? So yeah, if they're having a regular match, why wouldn't it? That wouldn't have happened at Extreme Rules anyway, under the rules of Extreme Rules, which is supposed to have no rules, except that every match is a stipulation, which is one of their rules. Is that correct? WWE, yay! Charlotte Flair is standing, and then we go to a break, and Charlotte Flair is still standing. Yeah, but now she's talking to a blonde lady. And she cuts a great promo telling the blonde lady that she's the queen, but it was good. Charlotte, for the 3rd week in a row, wrestles a heel. We have 2 heels wrestling the women's champion in non-title matches. This week it's Shayna Baszler, thank God, and not Nia. Of course, there's been this back and forth backstage stuff with Nia and Shayna. So Nia and Shayna are breaking up slowly for no real reason. And Nia shows up. They have this match back and forth with Charlotte and Shayna. It's fine, but again, people don't know who to cheer for. Charlotte dropped a little high on her left shoulder on a big German suplex. Nevertheless, the people were okay. Nia Jax somehow gets up onto the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. And then Charlotte gives Shayna a boot or a knee, we really couldn't tell, and hooks a 1-2-3 out of nowhere on Shayna with a move that's not even... She does do a big boot, I guess, but not even close to one of her finishing maneuvers. She beats Shayna clean in the middle. And anytime Nia and Shayna lost a match, Shayna lost clean in the middle. Oh, except for the time Natalya and Tamina beat them, because someone else from the bloodline, Tamina, got to beat Nia 1-2-3 in the middle with a splash. Not a coincidence. I worked for the family. Not a coincidence. Don't tell me otherwise. Wouldn't you know? But then Charlotte wins, and Shayna and Nia go away. Alexa comes out, and for the first time since Alexa's been the dark, spooky offshoot of the Fiend Bray Wyatt character, for the first time, Alexa was entertaining. She was fun. And she's always been good in this role. She knocks everything she does out of the park. It's just that everything they gave her was so nonsensical. But they got away from the supernatural. And really now it's more of a mind game, which is at least more physically believable than a CGI doll winking at Dewdrop in the middle of a live crowd. But that's that. So Alexa tries to give Charlotte a present. How nice. And Charlotte says she's grown. She doesn't have to play with dolls anymore. Now she collects championships and not dolls. And Charlotte gets a doll. Finally, Charlotte opens it. She says, "Oh, the hell with it. I like gifts." And it's a doll that looks like her and Lily. And it's called Charlie. How hilarious. But Charlotte was really good here in reacting to this. And Alexa was really good too. Crowd was really hot, really behind Alexa. And Alexa called Charlotte a narcissistic bitch, which was great because she didn't say it like, "And you're a blah 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 queen, you're a narcissistic bitch." Blah, blah, blah. She didn't say it like they'd have everyone else say it. She snuck it in her Alexa way, and it was good. And then there's a little back and forth physicality. Alexa hits some kind of sunset flip power bomb type of thingy. And Charlotte rolls out. This is very good. Long. This was really long though. But other than that, I think they could have shaved a couple of minutes off it. But other than that, damn. People are behind Alexa. This feud is good for Charlotte. Yeah, an internet wrestling fan is going to hear that and want to murder me in the street. Why would this feud be good for Charlotte? Because she's only supposed to wrestle the Sasha and Shayna and Bayley. Why is it? I'll tell you why this is good for Charlotte. Because this is the only Charlotte feud I can think of
where Charlotte was not in charge the entire time. Where Charlotte, someone's getting to her, someone's bothering her, someone's pissing her off. I can't think of anything in recent memory where someone was actually getting to Charlotte. And the 50-50 stuff with her and Rhea doesn't count. That's not good. That's like no one's getting anybody. The story of this feud is Alexa's clearly annoying Charlotte, bothering her. Now she's in Charlotte's head. And Charlotte is still confident, of course, she can beat Alexa in a physical match, but now she has no idea what kind of mind game she's walking into. And people don't play with Charlotte like this. For the first time, someone's not taking her as seriously as she takes herself. That is a story being told here. That is a good story. Dolls and silliness aside. So, looking forward to that. Whenever the hell Extreme Rules is, don't ask me. I do not know the answer to what Sunday. It's not this Sunday, I'm sure, but I'm sure we got a little ways to go. Oh wait, hold on, something else. The New Day is backstage. There's 3 of them, and they dance and sing. And Damian Priest arrives, and for no reason, he says he wants to give a title shot to Jeff Hardy because he respects him. And and Sheamus does the announcing, and this is to get ready for Sheamus versus Priest at Extreme Rules, but we don't know what the stipulation for any of these matches are. Priest defeats Jeff Hardy with a little bit of distraction from Sheamus. So what was the point of that? The point is, hey, we're trying to get Priest over. Let's have him beat a beloved legend clean. But, we've seen worse. It's not a big deal. So after the 1, 2, 3, Sheamus beats up both of them. Cool. Randy Orton is backstage, and Riddle is annoying him and not letting him prepare and coming up with nonsensical things about how you're going to wear both titles. And Randy Orton ignores him by putting on his headphones. And then Big E comes with his briefcase and he sings, and then a blonde lady talks to Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair wants to know why the Charlie doll that she dropped or threw away is now sitting on one of the equipment case thingies. She throws it in the trash and she yells at the other blonde lady. And we get a shot of the doll perfectly in the trash. Then a New Day, the other New Day. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are teaming with Ali and Mansoor for reasons I don't understand. In an 8-man tag, and they're going to wrestle Mason, T-Bar, and AJ and Omos. None of these teams should be teaming with any of the other teams. None of it makes any sense. Omos is very big. I kind of zoned out, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't feeling this. I was not feeling this episode at all, this match at all. I was really just waiting for the main event. Because this is one of those things, it's unavoidable with the social media and whatnot. And if you're bored and addicted, I hate to admit it, to some of the Twitters and Instagrams and whatnot, and check it way too much like I do to some, which unfortunately, you're going to see it. The winner of the NXT 4-Way just got spoiled for me on Facebook, and I wasn't even looking anywhere near it. I just scrolled and I saw the picture of who won the championship. I just went, motherfucker, I would have loved to have been surprised by that. I would have been thrilled to be surprised. And now I'm not. So at this point, I'm really just waiting for Orton. And this 8-man tag means nothing. It's not to elevate anything. The tag titles are tied up in a story with Bobby anyway. So what are we doing? Omos pins somebody. He pins Ali. Because Ali is like the heel and the other. He's teaming with 3 baby faces, but he's the one who's mad that Mansoor is dancing with New Day for who cares. An Irish guy bothers MVP and Bobby Lashley because the Irish guy's sole job is to get on the nerves of Bobby Lashley and MVP at all times. Karrion Kross made Hulu for the first time ever. And he talked and he had a suit and he looked important. He looked threatening. He was not dressed like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction at any time. He did not wear a sash like he just was crowned homecoming queen. Karrion Kross was talking like a man, and it was kind of vague, but basically he's going to beat the shit out of everybody. Then we see a commercial for the NXT logo that looks like the opening to In Living Color, and then Jennifer Lopez danced around in a fake alleyway, and Jim Carrey hammed it up and stole the show, and Keenan Ivory Wayans just kind of hung out in the background, and Damon Wayans hit a kid over the head with a sock dressed as a clown. Did you get any of those references? Okay. Orton wrestles Bobby Lashley. Alright. I loved this. I love how both these guys wrestle. I thought they were good together. because everything wasn't so crisp and clean and picture perfect and not 100% smooth. It looked like more of a struggle. Credit to Bobby Lashley before we move forward. Credit to Bobby Lashley. He did not, because now I'm looking for it because I know the outcome. He did not come to the ring with a boo-boo face. He did not come to the ring doing less of his entrance, less of this, less of that, because he's about to lose the championship. He didn't less than anything. He came out there looking like he's the champion and he's going to be champion forever. That was great. Oddly enough, Randy Orton, when he was in his early 2000s, used to do that, and he'd wrestle like it too. He wrestled a little bit lackluster when he was losing in like the 02 to 04 ish kind of. You could always see it. He would do it, but no. But I mean, everyone on this show, hardly anyone on this show would do that anymore. They're all pros. It's kind of like bet you Goldberg you can tell, but okay, took a cheap shot. I don't care. Fuck Goldberg. So Lashley and Orton have a hard hitting match. And Orton's selling his left leg, and he's getting his ass kicked. MVP is starting to interfere, but Riddle gets in MVP's face. Orton has to give the RKO to MVP on the outside of the ring. But before that happens, he gives the RKO to Bobby Lashley on the inside of the ring. MVP, I think he pulled Lashley near the rope to get him a little closer. I mean, they have a back and forth hard hitting match. I think there's a commercial break in the middle, and Orton clotheslines Lashley over the barricade right before the break. So they're being a snot of each other, which is good. I don't know. I'll get to the briefcase in a second. So anyways, a bunch of distractions. Orton walks into a spear, 1, 2, 3, okie dokie. So now we know it's coming. So we get Orton and Riddle out of there. I think, yeah, Bobby Lashley was unstoppable. He beats Orton. Cleanish. He's beating up Orton. He beats up Riddle, who's fresh. Big E comes out. Cashes it in and go to break. Interesting choice. But makes me want to see what the hell happens after this break. So I'd say it was probably a good one. Big E has, that Money in a Bank, that 3-minute match, and of course he's been saying big man meat, slapping man meat for so long now, it's kind of funny. So he has that match with Lashley, basically. He takes a spear too, and it really did look like, and I think the audience really believed Big E was getting pinned on that second spear he took. I really believe that. And if I didn't know the outcome, I would have believed it too. But Big E slips out of Lashley, the string. Oh my God, he picks up Big E for a power bomb, but picks him up like a little too low. And Big E is actually not that tall, but he's crazy thick. He's almost as wide as he is tall. And around his sternum instead of his stomach, Lashley was still hoisting Big E up like the weight there and the physical exertion, because Lashley's got to be exhausted by this point anyway. So Lashley sells. Anyway, Lashley picks Big E wiggles out of that. He's not used to being picked up and put in that position. Hits his own finish. 1, 2, 3. Big E is the WWE World Champion. Good. We need a new face in the main event on that show. I'm talking about just this show. We need a new face in the main event. We need a new voice. New Day should always be on the same show. They shouldn't be separated. It's stupid. We need someone fun. We need someone who the fans actually like. Like, the fans have seen Big E on their TV just about every week. What the hell's happened in my apartment? Oh, my fridge is making noises. The fans have seen Big E on their TV about every week for 10 years or so. And there's a connection there. It's a stranger connection, but it's a connection. And he made that connection a long time ago. The fans believe in New Day. They've seen so much of who those guys really are with social media and everything else that they've just fallen in love with the three guys, all for different reasons. And they're not all this. The three guys aren't all the same guy, which is good. And Big E he's obviously he's big. He is. He's freakishly strong. It's totally believable. He could physically beat anyone. Is there a bit of goofiness? Sure, but I don't know how well they've done the job of explaining this on SmackDown lately, but what they were trying to explain, I think early in the year or late last year with Miz and Big E there were 2 segments 2 weeks in a row on those Talking Smacks where he was explaining why he's goofing off and kind of telling you how he's going to do it this way and everything else. But he was explaining that in a serious way, so that worked. That really worked. Is the old man in charge going to understand the point of Big E acting like he does, which isn't too far? You'd have to tell him, hey, it's pretty much what Alexa does, but funny instead of spooky. But he's playing the same game. But because clearly Alexa is high up on the can do no wrong list. Kind of, it would look like that. Great day for wrestling. I don't sound too enthused now. It's been 24 hours, but I went for a walk because I was texting with a friend who was watching it live, and I went for a walk outside because it was a really nice night. And I thought I don't want to be inside my stuffy apartment. I love this apartment. I don't want to be in my stuffy apartment. I want to be taking a walk with a nice cool breeze outside in California, and just when I get the text, when I see it just happen. So I was gonna wait for him. I wasn't gonna wait for Twitter to tell me, and that's when we were back and forth. And I go, "Did it happen?" And he writes, "It happened." I go, "Okay." And then I went on to Twitter. But I wanted to be outside and get fresh air for that, just to remember it a little more, because I don't get to remember. I don't get to watch these things live as they happen and go, "Arr," with everybody else. Some of the pay-per-views I do with the WWE Network, which is only $5 a month with the Peacock, where you get all your favorite NBC shows such as The Office, Law and Order SVU, and absolutely nothing else that people watch. And WWE Network, which they're not even proud of, and on WWE's biggest days, such as SummerSlam, they don't even have a special banner or whatever the hell. Okay, Big E is the champion. Very good. This does look like, call me crazy. I mean, it'll call me crazy, but maybe in a month or 2 months down the road, Survivor Series. There's 3 in the Bloodline, and there's 3 in the New Day. The Bloodline being Roman Reigns and Usos, who have all the championships. So the current New Day, Woods and Kofi, would have to win back the championships from Riddle and Orton or whoever. If you want to put all the belts on them, just do that match. That match wouldn't be for anything, but Survivor Series hasn't been for anything for years except bragging rights, which is stupid, because they always do a draft right before Survivor Series. So you have no loyalty to your brand, even in storyline anyway. Everything's stupid. So I think rather than mourn how badly Big E's title reign is going to go, just celebrate the day he won it and the magic he won it, because the locker room certainly seems to have. I think one of the biggest physical surprises, as far as just the in-ring mechanics and the moves, that surprised me the most was Nia's sudden ability to actually get up on the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Come on, Chris. Give me one more. There you go. This is what we've been training for, Chris Miwa. There's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, Chris Miwa. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.